What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've heard it, seen it, lived through it, and now I'm here bringing it to you guys, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, sales is the greatest job in the world. It literally allows us to create the lifestyle that we want and have anything we could desire if you're willing to do one thing, and that's call the damn leads. Now, today's guest, someone I'm very, very excited to have on. He's someone I've had the pleasure of watching build and grow multiple businesses and focusing in on his main passion of really helping other business owners and entrepreneurs scale to having that time and life freedom. He's one of the most badass dudes at the win rate team. If I do say so myself, he's my friend, Mr. Sam Kaufman. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Glad to be here. Look, I want to quickly preface and maybe apologize. Like, I may have to clear my throat 2 or 3 times, and I've been perfectly fine all day, but the second I logged in here to talk to you, I'm not fine anymore. So if I pause and clear my throat like an asshole, I proactively apologize.
You know, the beautiful thing about technology is we've got these fancy producers that if it gets real bad, we can cut it out. But that is the thing that we love about the show.
Don't cut it out.
It's uncut. It's real, baby. This is how we do business. And Sam, you're someone that I've really, like I said, had the pleasure of watching build and grow, not just your business, but helping other business owners along the way. So I know you got some badass sales stories for us today. So let's hit me with the best one you got today, man.
So I'll tell you the one that I posted on your post about sales stories. And what's funny about this particular story is I've actually never told this story before because I've never actually thought about it as like a wild sales story. It was just something that happened to me in my life. So to keep a long story moderately short, I got my start in sales by selling a whole lot of drugs. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but to be honest, I don't necessarily regret it either because I'm telling you right now, like the rawest form of entrepreneurship. Yeah, exactly. Right. I knew you did. So I figured I'd share it. But like the rawest form of entrepreneurship, I believe is drug dealing. Honestly, like it's all boots on the ground. Like there's no cheat code. There's no paid ads. There's none of that. Like you just have to sell. So when I I was like 19 maybe, and I decided after getting arrested for like the 6th time, this is probably not a good idea. I also became a drug addict. And so like that didn't work well for being profitable. Like your margins really take a hit when you use a lot of drugs. So thank God, clean and sober 10 and a half years. Yeah, right? It's so bad. But like, look, I've been sober 10 and a half years. Like, thank God, I'm super proud of that. But like I was in a bad spot at that point. And so I got a job. The town I grew up in, it was actually like a really, really nice town. I was like the poor kid in like the wealthy town. And this company came into town and like rented an office above an office above an office. And they were a telemarketing agency, like cold calling telemarketing. And I knew I was good at sales. Like I was selling snow shoveling. I've sold my whole life. It's just something I've always done. And so I applied for this job. I got the job. I was proud of getting the job, though I, in retrospect, realized there was no one they didn't hire. And we'll find out why here in just a minute. And so I get this job and they hand me a script. This is the first scripted cold calling job I've ever had. And they hand you scripts. And basically what I was selling charitable donations. And so my job was to dial all day long. I had an old school ass computer. And you picked up the phone and it immediately starts ringing. You hang up the phone, it stops ringing. You pick up the phone, it starts ringing. And your job is to stay with that phone up. They time you. You have to put a certain amount of minutes in, certain amount of rings, certain amount of time connected to people. You got to hit quotas on the actual deals. Dude, it's like, so, but like me, honestly, I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I had a blast. I loved talking to people. And within like 2 weeks, I'm like rising star. And like my drug addict buddy got this job with me and they call me in the office one day. This is kind of like side story to the story, but like they call me in the office one day and they're like, man, you're crushing it. We want to move you up. And I'm going to be honest, like I still don't even know what the hell they were talking about because like they moved me to a different chair and like nothing changed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they moved me to like a different chair, same computer, same phone, same pay, same job. But they were like, we moved you up. And I was like, oh my God.
New title, awesome. More responsibility, and then nothing else.
Yeah, I don't even know if there was a title or responsibility change. Like, they may have just known that I was just really messed up and, like, they were just playing me. So they pull me in and they're like, hey, man, you're killing it. Your buddy sucks. We're definitely firing him. Just wanted to give you a heads up because we don't want to lose you. And so, yeah, so they fire him. I move up. And so, like, the sales job itself was actually, like, what we were doing was, like, disgusting, to be honest. And so, like, at the time, in the script, there's all they pre-write your objections, right? So, like, they're so, like, these cold call agencies, some of them are so good that every objection that you could possibly imagine being asked is there's like prerequisites inside the script to answer. There's like 40 of them. Like, you can't miss. And for the first time since working there, I got asked how much of my donation actually goes to, so, like, I was calling for, like, the firefighters union of so-and-so and the policeman's ball. Like, so, like, if you're listening to this and you ever got one of those phone calls, then, like, that's what I did. I was that guy. I was the guy that would keep you on the phone. And one of the objection overcomers, one of the big objections was how much of my donation actually goes to the charitable organization. And I shit you not, the answer in the objection in the script was no less than 1% of your donation goes to the charity. No less than 1%, meaning zero doubt it was 1%. Like, it was never, I guarantee it was never more. And so
it wasn't any less.
Like, yeah, exactly. It wasn't any less, man. But, like, I have to say, like, yes, it's hilarious. And, like, the end of the story is actually, like, it's a little wild what happened. But I have to say, like, as crazy as it was, and as, like, addicted to drugs as I was, and as messed up as I was, like, what started really getting me, because, like, I quit the job. Like, they never would have fired me. I was so good at it, it was disgusting. And actually, I was so good at it that, like, guilt set in. Because basically, the only people who donated to these things were, like, 80-year-old widows who, like, just wanted to do something good for their community. And it was horrifying. They would give $100, and, like, if they donated, like, $100, like, so, like, the way it would work is, like, they would pledge and you would type it in the pledge thing, and then, like, a ding would go off. The whole room would, like, cheer for you for basically, like, the whole room would cheer for you for stealing from an old woman. And, like, you would feel really good about yourself. Be like, oh my God, these people love me. I'm such a contributor to society. And, man, like, truth be told, dude, like, one day I was just sitting there dialing, and, like, the guilt just, I was talking to this older man, and his wife had just passed, and her life insurance policy, like, paid him out. And this dude was like, man, I'll give you $500 because, like, I'm so upset, and I just want to, like, I want to feel good about myself and help somebody. And I knew, like, $5 of this was going to go to this charitable organization, dude. And this man is talking, and I literally was like, sir, I'm really sorry. And I just hung the fucking phone up. I just put the thing back. I couldn't take his money. I stood up. I left. I quit. That job was done. I went back to, I'd love to say I went back to selling drugs, but I just went back to doing them. Made no money whatsoever. So 6 months later, our local paper comes out. Because, like, at this is, I mean, God, this has got to be, this is like 15 years. I mean, I don't know. It was a while ago. Local paper comes out, and it turns out this entire organization was a massive national scam, got indicted by the government, like FBI raid, like employees were being being subpoenaed for testimony in federal court. So, like, your boy, like, God protected your boy and skated me right out of what could have been a very, very terrible situation. But that's, like, I would say that's my craziest sales story. And again, I've never told that story before. I've never told it. It was not until your post that I was like, what is I've been selling for, like, my whole life. What is my craziest sales story? I was like, it was probably that one time I was stealing from old people, and then the company got federally indicted right after I quit. It's probably that one. So that's the one you got.
Sam, that's a fucking fantastic story, first of all. So thank you for sharing that. There's some things I want to unpack from it here in a second. It's not the first story that I've heard about backroom cold calling for Department of like fire and police donations. So anybody that's been in that industry, y'all got some fucking stories for me, man. This shit is awesome. And what I love about it though is, Sam, something that you and I have really come to agree on and see a lot of over the last couple of years is core values, and really more than just saying them, but truly living them and embodying them. And to personally know that feeling you had of like being on the phone and being in a position to, I'm sure your commissions on those things didn't suck if only 1% of them was going to the foundation. I'm sure yours were not, less than 5 or 10%, which for a guy selling drugs, that's a fucking lick right there, dude. To know that even in that time of your life, you still had it in your heart to say, man, I can't do this anymore. There's something that to be said about that. So I just wanted to acknowledge you and really praise you for that, man, because I know that what it takes to hold integrity and to hold core values when you're in a position of having the opportunity to make money. And man, we know sales is filled with addiction, whether you're chasing drugs or money or whatever that thing is. I mean, we all have something we're chasing, but to know that even in one of those moments, you were able to step out and kind of clear your head and say, hey, you know what? Let me rethink this a little bit. I would say that's very, very powerful for you, Sam. And one of the things I always like to ask on this, and I don't know if this will be your answer or not, but kind of a good segue, is like when it comes to sales, as you said, you've been selling a long time. If you had to pick something that you would consider like your sales superpower or kind of your secret weapon to sales, what would you say that is?
Dude, listening. That would be the super. I think that would be everybody's secret weapon if they did it better. I'll give you an example right now. I had a guy reach out to us at WinRate, pretending to want to be coached, to get on the phone with me to talk about a referral partnership. I respect the hustle. I took the call. I even stayed on the call. Here's where he lost me. I said, hey man, my email is sam@winrateconsulting.com. Shoot me some info about what you do and what it would look like to have an affiliate program going on, and let's start a conversation. 2 minutes later, when we were about to get off the phone, he said, hey, man, yeah, so I got you down at sam@winratepodcast.com, and I'll shoot you an email about like our perfect client avatar, something, something, something. And I went, hey, man, don't bother. See you later. And I hung up the phone. And I'm telling you right now, if you can't listen, you shouldn't sell. I won't say if you can't listen, you can't sell, because I watch people sell things to people that should never buy them all the time. If you can't listen, you shouldn't sell. So like my superpower is I have the ability to not just listen to the words coming out of your mouth, but read between the lines. Because here's what happens a lot when people buy things. They lie, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes they're lying because they're embarrassed about what they need, want, see, feel. Sometimes they lie because they are asking to buy something they think they need. They're just wrong. And the superpower that I would say is my ability to listen and listen between the lines, ask qualifying questions, and actually pay attention. Bro, you know how many people don't pay attention when people talk?
Yes. Sadly, I do. I do, man.
Yes, I do.
It's one of the things that's literally part of, one of our core values is listening. And part of the sales process is ask specific questions and listen intently. Because when you're asking these specific questions, you can get the answers that you need if you're listening to know whether what you do or how you do is a good fit for the individual you're doing it for. And if not, that's a perfect opportunity for a referral partnership to say, you know what, based on what you're telling me and my expertise, I don't believe what we do is a good fit for you. However, this is someone who I believe can solve your problem and probably do it in a faster time frame than I could do, since I'm not the expert on this situation. And therefore, here's an opportunity for you to still get what you need, even though it's not directly from me. I can't tell you, Sam, how much money I've made from simply telling someone, hey, based on our conversation and actually listening to what you're telling me, you don't need this shit. You'd be spending a bunch of money that's not necessary for something that you can fix for a fraction of the price if you just go here or do this thing. Now, some people would go, that's a terrible way to make sales, Drewbie. Like, And also, those same individuals who I pointed in the right direction have come back later and spent significantly more than that first investment would have been, simply because I was willing to be upfront about it from the get-go. And I bet you have the same thing happen in your business all the time.
Dude, 100. Well, money is made by solving problems. That doesn't mean I'm the solution to your problem. You know what I'm saying? Like my job, and this is actually, it's funny you say that because like my typical intro text when like a lead comes through for like the coaching side of things is something along the lines of, hey man, I'd love to get on a call to see whether or not we are a good fit for each other. And if not, I'm sure I can connect you to somebody who can help you. Yeah, it's as close to 100% success rate on, yeah, man, I'd like to get on a call because I've already disarmed you because you don't, now I'm not selling you anything. I've totally like taken my sales role out of the equation and said, hey man, I'd love to just offer some value to you, connect you to somebody. Like, I don't know if I'm a good fit. I also don't know if you're a good fit, bro. You might be a terrible fit for my organization. So I'll send you off to Drewbie and he can help you. Maybe you're a good fit for him. I don't want you. Like,
hey man, don't send me no problem child, Sam. I know better. Like, if they're not a good fit for you, bro, we got similar core values. So I already know they're not going to be a fit over here. But now I know what you're saying, though.
That's a solid point.
But that's also part of building the relationships, right? And getting to know people and asking questions and listening and being able to, listen between the lines, as you said, because a lot of people will say certain things and what you actually see or hear about on the back end is not necessarily the same. And that's where core values become so important. And ultimately where, working with the right individuals, having these pre-qualifying questions is very valuable for sales because, as you said, not every client is a good client. And honestly, the majority of the problem clients are usually the ones that paid you less, wanted a discount, couldn't follow the instructions, right? Just the basic stuff that should be pretty simple. They tend to be the ones with the biggest issue. And you start to wonder, like, why do I do this to myself? Like, what am I doing here? It's crazy.
Yep.
So, Sam, one thing I do always like to kind of ask about, sales is, let's be honest, there's some taboo around the industry. There's some people that hate on sales. There's some people that love sales. One thing I always like to talk about are some of the kind of misconceptions around sales. Maybe you've heard some of them or have some that you've dealt with from your coaching standpoint. What would you say is a big misconception around sales, and how do you like to work with teams to debunk that myth?
I actually have a very specific answer to this question. Yeah, I actually believe the biggest misconception about sales is held by sales reps, newer sales reps, believing that the people they are selling to are already judging them for being sales reps. That's what I believe is the biggest misconception about sales, is the actual sales rep internalizing that exact taboo. Because yes, it is real. Yes, it does exist. What I have found, though, is more often than not, people are actually very okay with talking to a salesperson. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you. And that's pretty much it, right? It's like the newer sales rep believes everyone should buy from them because they want to sell something. Because when you're new, it's all transactional. It's either close is the only way to win, right? And so that would be, if I had like a number two, it would be that closing is the signifier of winning, and it is not. Closing is a natural symptom of doing everything in between. Closing is not actually the end result. Closing is just the symptom of what happens when you do all the other stuff well. And so if I had to like share anything, it would be like for newer sales reps to stop being so fearful that everybody that they talk, like take door knockers, for instance. So nervous about knocking on the door, immediately believe, let me tell you something. You're not hated on because you were a sales rep. It's because you knocked on the door. So if you could remove if you were the neighbor coming by to bother about the backyard, they'd be pissed. If you were a police officer, bring him, like, it doesn't matter. Nobody wants their door knocked. And so if sales reps could just remove the self-induced stigma that they're doing something wrong by trying to sell something that somebody needs, I believe their life would be a lot easier. And in turn, they would be able to help a lot more people.
Ooh, Sam, that was gold, brother. That was gold. And I always refer to it kind of like there's that part of it where, yes, absolutely, I think a lot of newer sales reps feel like they have to sell every person, so they're really like trying. And it's a fine line between, hey, you need to get some sales because you need that confidence, and also I think there's that competitive aspect of sales. And I know a lot of sales organizations can be very competition driven and all about the numbers and the who's the highest top producer and all of that. And I think what I always see it is like kind of imposter syndrome, where newer reps, they don't know everything. So they're kind of like afraid to get out there and look stupid. But here's the best thing about sales, in my opinion, is if you just go out and you're honest and authentic and you're straight up with people and just tell them, you know what, man, that's a great question. Let me run that up the flagpole. Before I do that, though, let me get a couple more things from you. That way, if there's anything else I need to ask them while I'm there, I can just get it all in one swoop and come back with every answer you need, man. What do you think? And then they're like, yeah, all right, that's fucking cool. Like, dude, one of my best pieces of advice that I got was from a guy that I worked with in the pharmacy. He was like, hey, man, the wise man doesn't have the answer to every question. He just knows where to go looking for them.
That's good.
That's good. Sam, dude, brother, this has been an absolutely fantastic episode. I've loved your story. I mean, hey, man, wild shit goes on in those call rooms, brother. What I want to know before we get out of here is if people enjoyed the episode, if they got some value from it, first of all, you guys need to go and share this, tag us on social media, put it out there, because Sam dropped some freaking nuggets on us today. But how could they come find you if they want to see? I know you're always posting content. You have a great podcast as well. Where can they find you and learn more about what you guys got going on?
Yeah, dude. The podcast is called Never Stop Building. It's everywhere podcasts are, so you could easily find it by using your thumbs and typing Never Stop Building into anywhere there's podcasts. And then everything else is Sam Kaufman. Yeah, smart, right? Yeah. Everything else is Sam Kaufman Official. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all Sam. YouTube. It's all Sam Kaufman Official. It's all the same. I made it really easy for you guys because I know some people don't like to put too much effort into finding, the value that they need. So I made it easy.
Hey, man, that is one of the things about sales that is one of many superpowers I know you have, man. Making stuff easy on people, really helping them be able to take that walk and go to that distance. So, Sam, I appreciate that. Now, before I get out of here, I always like to ask one last question because you never know. I mean, in this industry, there's literally thousands of new individuals walking into sales positions on a daily basis. And let's just hope and pray that one of those individuals falls on this episode today and they hear it, and we can give them just one piece of advice on how to be successful in the sales industry. What would you tell them?
Man, the results, I would tell them this. All the best athletes in the world win games practicing. Everything that you're avoiding, the work you're avoiding, the follow-ups, bro, I tell them call the damn leads. The follow-ups you're avoiding, the tracking in your CRM that you're avoiding, the notes you're not taking, the little things you're not doing, that's why you're not closing. You nail all that stuff, closing deals just becomes natural.
Sam, I have to agree with you 100%, brother. That is the beauty of sales and why we're here, because the every day, that 1% improvement, that little bit of growth, that extra note, that extra call, that extra email, those little improvements on a daily basis, man, that's how you get to looking so ripped and so fine like my friend Sam Kaufman out here. Bro, I really just want you to know how much I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here, to pour some value, to share that crazy-ass story. Like I said, man, I love this show simply for the crazy sales stories that we've been getting to hear, and yours was up there in the crazy. So, again, man, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Of course. Well, if you guys heard this and you liked it, you know what to do. Go and tag us on social media. Share it at Call the Damn Leads, at Sam Kaufman Official. Let the people know. And also, if you have a crazy sales story and you want to come on the show and share it with us, I'd really enjoy that. It is so fun getting to hear these stories. What I need you to do, head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Check over the notes. Send us your information. Let us know you'd like to be a part of this. We would love to share your story. And as always, you know what to do. Go call the damn leads. We'll see you guys on the next one. Later.